What's going on, everybody? I know it's out already, but I figured I already did an out of the theater reaction for it, but I want to talk about Wonka. It is that brand new movie out in theaters now. It's a musical. Maybe people didn't know that right away, but it is. It's a musical, and there's reports that the studio knows that people don't like musicals, so they trick people because they don't show people that it's a full-on musical in the trailer, and not just from Wonka, but in general. And it is a full-blown musical. Now, there were musical numbers in the Willy Wonka movie that the late, great Gene Wilder starred in back in the 70s. So you got to know that going in. Paul King, who directed the movie, is known for his Paddington films, which I thought are great movies. Now, what I will say about this movie, and you have to, and the one thing I saw when I did my out of the theater reaction, I was comparing it to connection, not the filmmaking itself, but the connection between the Gene Wilder movie and this movie. And I saw some comments, a few people, silly, saying you can't compare the two movies. That is false. Why is that false? Because you are linking it to that movie because it's a prequel to that movie in the same way that you're going to put and piece together Superman Returns into the Christopher Reeve movies because it ties into that storyline. So you have to. And the one I don't love the Johnny Depp Tim Burton movie. Some people do, and that's fine. What I will give credit to that movie is that it's not trying or not, it's not connected to the Gene Wilder movie at all. It's completely its own take on the film, and it shows that. Whether you love it or don't like it. This movie is trying to connect to it. So you have to say, okay, does it feel like it's connected to the same universe? To me, it does not, because the Gene Wilder one has a little bit more of an edge to it. It's got more mystery to it also, where you don't really know if Willie's magical. And as the movie goes on more and more, you're like, oh, well, clearly he is. In this, he's doing tricks in the street and people are flying up in the air and it's a bit more cartoony. Now, that being said, is it a good movie for the holidays to see with the family? The answer is 100% yes. If you're not necessarily, look, I just want to go into this movie for a fun time with the family and really introduce my kids to this version of Wonka as their first meeting of him. I think that's fair. Is Timothy Chalamet, is he charming? He is. He's definitely more naive inside of this. The story itself is that Wonka is now trying to, he shows up in London. He's trying to get him, he has this promise to his mother that he kept, that he wants to become the greatest chocolate maker of all time. And through magic and through everything else, he starts to try to do that, but he's thrown big obstacles along the way. Olivia Colman being one of those obstacles. So she and the guy who plays her henchman / other stuff that I won't spoil inside of it, their performance really good and plays inside of the tone that Paul King sets up. That is what I will say, that everybody inside of the movie, for the most part, plays inside of the tone that he sets up. What they do feel like villains in a Muppet movie that don't have Muppets in it, but it's consistent through. And I think the whole movie feels like that. It feels like a Muppet movie without Muppets in it. And the three villains, the main villains, really they toe the line of just absurd and just so goofy that it never really took them serious. And even Keegan-Michael Key he's in it, and he's doing a New York accent for some reason. I don't know why. And I don't think it's the best to do, and I don't know why they had him do it. I have no idea. But the musical numbers, and, I just thought about the main reason that I think that I can give this movie, I'm going to go 3.1 out of 5. And the reason is like, well, you had a lot of criticisms of it. I did, and there's no doubt about it. But what I think, like I said, it does well is all the performances from start to finish play, minus the villains, which I just think are in a different movie. I think that it does bring in, you smile, and if you like musicals, I think you go, okay, that made me feel good. It made me feel good. I wasn't trying to compare it to anything, and I just went in and I liked it and I felt good. If you do that, I think you can dig it. If you look at it more so that Paul King is setting up tones that he set up more so in Paddington, even though Paddington, I think, has a little bit more depth, if you will. Yeah, so I can go 3.1 out of this, out of 5. So have you guys seen the movie yet? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What do you think? Are you going to stay away from it because you found out it's a full musical? What are your thoughts? Did you have way more of a good time with it, more so than I did? Please go ahead and comment and tell me exactly what you think. I have other reviews coming out this week. I saw Poor Things. I'm going to see Aquaman this week. So a few more movies coming out. Obviously, I've got the podcast that's out 5 days a week, The Big Things. You can check that out. All right, thanks for joining me here today. That's my review of Wonka. Let me know if you saw it. Peace.